Hello and welcome to Monkey's Paper Palooza Craft Corner. Today we are going to be doing a technique with gold leaf and sticky embossing powder. But to start our video, let's take a note on the My Monthly Hero Kit available for March. We will not be doing videos for a period of time on these because we are going to refocus on new and exciting products, but you can still check them out on their site. So gold leaf and sticky embossing powder together make a beautiful technique. Basically, sticky embossing powder is powdered glue, which makes it really fun for adhering different mediums, including the gold leaf. It can be used to adhere products such as Pearl-Ex or Perfect Pearls, glitter, textured embossing powders, as well as glitter embossing powders, just to add some fun texture, as well as foil transfer sheets. But we are going to focus, of course, on gold flaking today. And I have this beautiful variegated gold, but you can use different colors. So two stamps I'm using today from Unity Stamps are Love What's Meant to Be and True Wishes. They are beautiful stamps from this wonderful company, as well as a Stampenduous stamp set. Now, your best friend for this project is going to be a Swiffer pad or a Swiffer duster because gold leaf can be really messy. So to start this project, we are going to be using the first one from Stampenduous. And I can never pronounce what that flower is called, but it is a beautiful stamp set. And we're going to put on our embossing ink to start with. And these are super sticky stamps, just like Hero Arts. Their quality of stamp and their polymer is fantastic, and they tend to stick very well. So I've got that first blossom down. Now, just like embossing powder, you're going to shake it all over the embossing ink, and it's going to stick to it. But really, this is basically a glue. It is not an embossing powder. You're not going to dry it. You're just going to get it tacky. So you're going to preheat your heat gun, and then you're just going to go over it until you see it starting to get clear. And you do not want to do it for too long because that will start to dry your glue. So you're going to place this on top and just rub it into the glue mixture. And you can push it down, brush off any excess that you have. Either use a nice little paintbrush or even your fingers if you're not afraid to get too messy with it. And then you're going to take a hard bristled brush and you're going to brush off any remaining gold leaf that is not stuck to the sticky embossing powder. And you're going to get this beautiful gold leaf image. And I do have to say, the results are beautiful on dark paper and even on light paper. So depending on what you're looking for, if you're looking for a very vivid, bright color, dark is your friend. If you want something that's softer, you will of course use the lighter one. So let's clean up our space. Like I said, that Swiffer is going to be your friend. So I've got that beautiful flower image on there. Now I'm going to put our sentiment from that same kit, the thank you. Put our magnets down. And I would recommend doing these in parts. And the reason I'm going to say that is you have a short window of time in which your sticky embossing powder will stay sticky. So the bigger the image, the harder it is to be more precise with the stickiness of it. You have a short period of time, if you have a large image or a large background, it's going to be harder to get your gold leaf or whatever substance you put on there fast enough before it starts to cool and dry. So because that short window, I would recommend doing it in smaller segments. That way it takes you less time to get your substance, whether it be glitter or whatever it is, on that embossing powder before it dries. And I brushed off all our stuff, and there is that one. So like I said, if you want a softer look, you're going to go for the lighter color. And two of the lighter colors I chose to make these cards will be a beautiful soft gray and also a very nice tan. So here's the other image from that kit from Stampenduous, and this is a larger double blossom. And it is just so pretty. So we're going to push that down onto that after we put on our anti-static, of course. And we're going to get everything ready. And that is your key, because I said the time frame is short. Have whatever you're going to put on top of this sticky embossing powder instantly ready for when you heat set this. Because like I said, anywhere from 26 to 30 seconds is the amount of time it gives you before it starts to cool and dry. So the quicker you can get your stuff on there, the quicker your sticky embossing powder's full effects are going to end up being used. So I'm just going to mash this down into those blossom areas, brush off the excess. And now we're going to use our hard bristled brush, get rid of the residual and make it really smooth. And you see the gold leaf does not stick onto anything except for the sticky embossing powder, which gives you that beautiful, crisp, clean, imprinted effect. It's almost like foiling set with gold leaf. Isn't that pretty? So now that I got that image on there, I'm ready to do my sentiment. So I'm going to use one of the sentiments from Unity Stamp Company, and I believe this is from the True Wishes set. I think it says, "May all your wishes come true." Unity Stamp is a wonderful company. They're family owned and operated. They have beautiful inspirational stamps and very fun pieces, from the cutest little things to the most inspirational to even some after dark kind of adult kind of jokey stamp. So no matter what you're looking for, they sort of have something for everybody there. And they are out of Minnesota and they are just fantastic. Their customer service is A plus, and their stamps are hand pressed and hand cut, and they are just wonderful. And there, I'm going to chamois this off with my Swiffer duster, and I'm just going to make sure I get it all cleaned up. And there is that panel. I am starting with my panels first because, like I said, that time frame is short. So you don't want to be building a card and having a piece drying while you're doing it. So if you're making a lot of cards with this technique, my suggestion would be to make your panels first and then assemble your cards after, because you have plenty of time to assemble, but this technique takes a short window of time to get your images sticky, embossed, and flaked. So we're going to heat this up again. This is from that True Wishes stamp set from Unity Stamp Company. And I love this. It's like a little dandelion blossom with some of the little seeds flying off in the wind. So I'm going to try to get a lot of the blues and the pinks in there as well as the golds. That way we get some really fun color in this piece. As you see, even the most little detailed images show, but I would say you get your best results with things that are more solid silhouettes. Jennifer Maguire has done this before, and she used beautiful blossom silhouettes, and they came out beautiful because you get to see more of the detail of the variegation in the more solider look. Though, like I said, you see this, even the little fine details do show. So now I'm going to add the sentiment, and this one is the same one from the other one. May all your wishes come true. Just center that correctly. We're going to anti-static. Press that down. Our embossing powder or our powdered glue. This technique has been done before, mostly with a glue pad. I will give you a warning about glue pads. Glue pads are great. They're fantastic. Same thing with foil transfer gels with stamps, but just like the foil transfer gel, you have a time frame to get it off your stamps. This, you don't have that time frame. You don't have to worry about, am I going to ruin my stamp? Because you're not. You are actually going to be in good shape no matter what. Because what you're using is the same thing you use for any heat embossing technique. It's your embossing ink, and you won't have that issue of, will I lose the texturing of my stamp? It is actually good for your stamp to put embossing ink on it, and some places recommend you to do that to condition it. So it's not going to hurt your stamps, and you can still get that fun, sticky, glue adhesive feel with this as you would with the glue pad, without the fear of, oh no, I'm going to ruin it. Alright, so I'm using one of the little mandalas from the What Is Meant to Be kit from Unity Stamp. And we're going to heat set that up. Isn't that a beautiful little mandala? It's got beautiful little hearts. I love these when I saw them because there's 3 different types, and they both all have their own little things. One of them has a butterfly, this one has hearts, and then there's another one that's a more typical mandala with more pointed corners. But this one's going to look gorgeous in this gold leaf, and you're going to see in a minute how beautiful it comes out. Even the most beautiful little detail does show. Tap that off, and look at that. Isn't that pretty? Once I get all this residue off, you'll see how beautiful it came out. Now I'm going to use also the sentiment that came with this kit that says loved, since it goes kind of with the heart theme. I know a lot of you are going to be a little bummed that I'm not doing the Hero Arts videos anymore. It's just for now. I want to focus on some other companies and give you guys a more well-rounded view of what's out there. Because as much as we all love Hero Arts, there are so many fantastic companies out there. And I want to be able to give everybody enough love and attention onto this than not just them. Because like I said, there's tons out there, and I want to be able to show you other kits as well as other stamp sets and techniques and fun things. And 2 weeks in between this releases is just not enough for me, so I just want to take a little break. We've been making cards with them for about almost over a year now, so I figured it'd be time to change it up a bit. We're just going to take a little break, though I might peek in 1 or 2 every once in a while if there's one that's really gorgeous that I have to have, though I do have to say the March one looks like it's going to be really fun and beautiful. So definitely check out other March creations from other creators. I might make a playlist for you guys. That way you can still get some ideas, even though I'm not doing them myself. Now I'm taking the 2 other mandalas that also are from that Love What Is Meant to Be kit by Unity Stamp, and I'm putting them both there. And I know I told you to do this in smaller segments, but we're going to try to show you a larger one. And I will say it does make this technique a little bit more difficult, and I probably should have split them into 2. So that way I had the right time frame, because now I have a bigger area to get everything on there as quick as I can. So I'm digging big clumps and I'm making a huge mess. but it does get what I need to be done done. And I will say one thing. Sometimes I find areas on this sticky embossing powder does not dry as quick as it says it does. So you do get a little bit more of a window sometimes in areas. So one way to make sure, if you think you can stick some more down, just touch it. If it feels still tacky, put some more down. And it actually will fill in your image even better. So I'm doing my dry brushing right now, as you see, making a big mess, but it's getting all those details filled in. And I actually was able to get majority of it on there. But I do feel some areas that do feel tacky, like I said, so I'm going to push some more of the foil down into it and see if I can get more of a better coverage. And my hands off screen. Now I feel like it's a little less tacky, so we're going to go back with the dry brush and brush off some more. So, I mean, if you have a bigger image and you don't feel like you got good coverage, just put your fingers on it, feel if it feels tacky, and then add some more. If you think you're fine and you've got enough on there, then feel free to move on. But it doesn't hurt to check to see if you have some spots you can add some more to. So I'm getting my gold leaf ready here, trying to find a good place so I can have plenty of arm room. And with most rubber stamps, I'm checking to make sure I have it going the right way. With clear stamps, you're able to see if you're going the right way with your sentiments, but these you may not be. And this is also from the same kit, Love What's Meant to Be. It is a beautiful little kit with some very fun, inspirational sentiments. So we're going to heat this up, put on our leafing, and I'm going to try to get some of that beautiful blues that are in there because you know what? I love that blue variation of that variegated gold. I'm going to brush off as much as I can before I do my final brushing. And you're just going to brush in between those letters so that all the little letters will pop out. And I feel a little tacky spot. And that's what happens sometimes. Sometimes you go back over and you still feel tacky spots, which is not a bad thing. It gives you a little bit more time in that window to add some more gold leafing or whatever substance you're using. With foils, that also gives you the option to maybe even change up your colors. Because no one says you can only use one color of foil. We've done foiling before where I showed you how you can reuse your scraps and get that look of a kind of mercury glass look. So you can definitely do that also with the foils on this too. Now, I'm also going to show you that you can also use stencils with this too. Don't mind my icky stamp pad up there. It's disgusting. I have to wash it again. But I am taking one of my foam daubers and I am daubing with my blending tool some of my embossing ink onto the stencil, kind of giving it a little caned look. And we're just doing it on one corner of the cardstock, leaving the other exposed. I want to kind of give us a little bit of a rustic, almost antiqued, shabby chic kind of look to it. So I am not too concerned about it being perfect. I am not concerned with it being exact. I am just going to have fun with this and give it that little kind of rustic, shabby chic kind of look to it. You will see areas that didn't stick well, and that is fine because that is the look we're looking for. If you are looking for a more exact look, I would suggest buying a embossing ink dauber with the embossing ink added to it. Ranger does make one, and you can use it that way. And you're going to get more of the embossing fluid onto the paper than you will with your foam dauber. So definitely an idea if you want that more precise, more coverage look. But you see, I got that beautiful gold look on there. And I feel some areas that are tacky, so I'm going to add some more color here and there as I go. Look at that, isn't that pretty? And we're going to brush off our surface a little bit, get some of that excess gold leaf out of our way. And now I'm going to add my sentiment. Adding some anti-static and the sentiment from the Love What It's Meant to Be kit. I've used Unity stamp stuff for quite a few years and I love their stamps. In fact, I have a whole drawer drawer and a half dedicated just to their stamps. And we're going to try to get some, like I said, some more of that blue and the pink and the gold in there. Try to get as much color as I can in this panel. Brush it off. There we go. Is that beautiful? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so we're going to use the same stencil, and this is actually a Hero Art stencil. We are still, of course, going to showcase their wonderful products in our videos, even though we're not doing the monthly kit. So this time I just did it on the top half. So that way I kind of get a cut off. And as you see, some areas it didn't stick, which is fine, because like I was doing before, I'm not concerned with getting a perfect look. If I wanted that, I would have used the dauber. But just showing that even if you don't have a blending tool, you can use your ink pad and get the same result. Brush this on. And like I said, the bigger the surface, the harder it is to get in there, and a little bit more messier because you got to get the right coverage in the right time or you're just not going to get it on there at all. So just pushing it into that panel as much as I can. That way it's crushed in there, and trying to get as much color as I can in there because I don't want just the gold to show. I want all the colors. This is a very messy technique. As you see, I'm wearing my rattiest sweatshirt I can wear because I know I'm going to be covered in gold leaf by the time I'm done making these cards. So definitely do not wear your prized possessions to do this technique because you will have gold sticking to you everywhere. Push some more down into it because there was some areas that still felt very tacky, so I think I can add more color to it. Brush it one last time. Good as we're gonna get it. All right, so now I'm going to add the sentiment loved again, put some more of that sticky embossing powder down. Make sure my words look precise. So we're going to heat that up and then add once again our layer of gold leaf. And as you see, I've made, I think, 7 panels, and they all have their own different look. And I still have tons of that variegated gold leaf. I got mine actually from Michael's and it was like $7 for the amount I got. So not a bad product to use for such a beautiful technique. I am going to distress them with some brushed corduroy, distressed ink, and I'm just going to go around this one all over the panel just to give it that little bit more of an antique look to it, especially in those areas that did not get the embossing powder. And I have seen this done with foiling where someone took this ink and they just did corners and brushed it. Tim Holtz has done it a few times with foils too, with this embossing powder on top of distressed inks, and it actually came out so gorgeous. So definitely try different techniques with this once if you do purchase this, because you are going to be surprised with what you can do with this product. And this one I'm just going to do that bottom corner. I'm not going to worry about doing the rest of it. So I'm going to add both of these panels on a brown craft card form, and I'm going to pop them up with some craft foam underneath. Now we're going to add some of our magenta mermaid sequins that we're going to add to the store. They should be up by the time this video comes on. Alright, and then we're going to do this also on the second panel. Put our craft foam behind it. And on to our brown craft. And once again, we're going to add some more of those. We have these in 3 colors as of now. The magenta and 2 other blue tones. That one of them is called Blue Lagoon Mermaid. It's really pretty too. And then I also have a Mystic Mermaid, which is more of a green and sapphire color. So here is that beautiful gray panel, and we're going to add that to a gray craft form panel. We are not going to add sequins to this one. I am actually going to bring out my Hero Arts Lacquer Pen, and I'm going to add some little clear lacquer dots. This one, just to give it a softer look. You could also even add a little bit of glitter to them if you wanted to add a little sparkle. Or any of the Nouveau drops that you may have too. Kind of a similar technique. Alright, and here's that beautiful loved mandala. And I'm going to put that on a black card form panel. I'm going to sweep it off a little bit more with my duster and add it to a panel of craft foam also. That is not straight enough. Thank goodness I didn't push down all the way because it was not straight. So let's get that straight again. And for this one, I'm going to use the pink lacquer pen I have for Hero Arts. That came, I believe, in the either February or January kit from Hero Arts. Though I do believe is also available on their website. Droplets and one in the center here. That one is done. I'm keeping these as simple little note cards. And isn't that pretty? Okay, so this is that beautiful True Wishes dandelion one. We're going to add that also to a brown craft cardstock on top of some craft foam. And then we are going to embellish it with both the sequins and some of that lacquer pen again. Trying to keep in that pinks and that rose color and that blue feel in these cards. So I'm going to add a few drops of this. Make some little droplets. And then I'm going to add my two-way glue some of the sequins. All right, and now for this one, we're going to use those beautiful flat glitter sequins that we have. Oops, going on the foam is not the card. I'm going to lay some of that down. Till I'm getting to the end of my roller, because usually when you do, it starts coming out a lot harder. So I won't be surprised if I have to change it within the next couple panels. Key for this one, if you make a lot of cards, have one. I always fill two. That way I have one already filled by the time I'm empty. So I don't have to really slow myself down, just grab the second one. We add those. Couple more here. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Alright, so we're going to do the same thing we did before. Chamois this off because I have some of that anti-static still on it. Just make sure we're nice and clean. And like I said, we're out of this. Alright, let's get a new one. There we go. Much better. My theories work smarter, not harder. So if you have two of them ready, you're always ready to go. No stopping. And then we're going to put that panel on there. And this one I'm going to mix the gold and the magenta mermaid onto the surface around the blossom. So I'm going to just alternate them. Do one gold, one pink. Way we have that beautiful colors mixed together. Very simple and clean note cards. And I need to get one more of these gold because I just didn't have enough. There we go. Very pretty by itself. And that beautiful blue and that thank you. Alright, so you see all these beautiful cards were made using that fantastic technique. From stencil to solid stamps to even the most intricate designs. But all of them give you that beautiful gold leaf design with variegated colors, even though you can do this with any color gold leaf you can find. So if you like this video, please check out the last uploaded video, as well as one specially curated just for you. And like always, we welcome you to like, subscribe, and ring for notifications. And check out our website as well as our Facebook and Instagram pages.